Miranda decided to go into the hedge with her friend, which, of course, isn't too big a deal if you have a changeling guiding you, but then she decided it would be a great idea to go off on her own afterward, and just barely survived being chased by a briarwolf, and managed to uh, jump out through a hedge gate that she hurriedly created with her bloodlines abilities and landed in the prince's office. She got in trouble, obviously, and to make up for it, she and the coterie were sent to check on a location where a revenant and some zombies were found. They did manage to take care of all of that, but Miranda took quite a beating, so they've been spending a few days in downtime, hunting and healing and just taking it easy, doing typical vampire stuff. Now, I believe, Tassie, you said you wanted to cast some rituals in downtime.
Yes.
So, which ones are we going to do? I know you probably said you don't want to do all of them. You were originally considering because of not having a garden yet.
Right. I did actually buy Mandragora to Mandragora. No, I didn't. Never mind. I started to, and then I changed my
And then
mind
you
again.
bought Creation 3 instead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we could start by you recasting your plants.
Okay.
We can upgrade your learned ritual if you want to be the 3-dot version of it. Obviously, if you upgrade it, you can't cast the lower version of it without it being improvised. But,
Sure, we'll do that. It's
and
called
that'll mean
audition.
you'll have the learned dice pool and all those benefits. Just you won't have those benefits if you only want to create normal plants.
Okay.
But these ones can essentially be retainer level intelligence. So little
Okay.
vamp-like creations, kind of like Mandragora, except they won't have disciplines yet because that's slightly higher level still.
Right. I can buy I can start, growing them, and they can. When I buy Mandragora garden, they can turn into them.
Right. All right.
I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do keep secret, which causes a clash of wills versus aspects and similar.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, let's start with the plant one.
Okay.
So what you're going to basically do is dismiss the one you already had, or I guess you can do that at the end of the casting, but because you don't have a bunch of rituals in your control yet.
No,
So,
I just have the one.
But yeah, that's just something to mention will happen. Because for anyone that doesn't know, and it looks like we did get a couple of viewers, Blood Sorcery using this system, you have a ritual control limit equal to your ritual discipline. And anything above that you can still cast. It just adds more and more risk each time. And yeah, that is basically very similar to the way Mage does it, except there's not 50 ways to bypass the limit.
What page is your quick?
Starting soon message.
Yeah, I guess we are technically started. So yeah, let us get casting. So
Right, and what page is your quick casting reference chart on again?
there should be a bookmark that'll just say Appendix 2 Quick Reference. And we can start going through that.
There we go. That'll work. Turn up the font size because it's little. I hate the font that Vampire uses.
Right. So yeah, you're doing a learned ritual. Your ritual factors, you need enough of them to cover both the area outside your own place and to be able to remake the ones for Kaylin.
Right.
Because you want to do that all at once. So you're probably going to... Well, we'll get to that. Well, let's go down in order of the factors. It starts with potency. Now, potency for a ritual like this is going to define the effective retainer level of these plants, which defines the dice pool. So if you have like a potency of 4, that's retainer 4, and anything that vamp plants should be able to do, they'll then have 8 dice for.
I don't know if I want to start with potency 4, but maybe potency like 2 or 3.
All right, 2 or 3. So if you do 3, that will need 2 steps, and you'll automatically have 2 free steps because of having creation 3. So we can just set potency to 3, and you have no penalties yet.
Duration, I want it to be a month.
You just want to do it for a month at a time?
Yeah.
All right, so that'll be advanced duration, so that's 2 dice of risk so far, and then 1 month is 3 steps, so that's a -6 penalty.
Okay.
All right, and then we've got range. You're going to want to do... You're probably going to want to do advanced range, so that way you can just target your existing magic and recast it there without needing to add a bunch of steps for it being miles away. So let's see. Closely linked. No, you're going to need 3 steps for the sympathetic range for that.
Right.
So that'll mean you are now at a -12 penalty total. But we have ways to mitigate that, don't worry. And that'll be 4 dice of risk so far. And then for scale, how big did you have each garden last time?
Basically, it was a 2-yard radius.
Right. So you could do advanced and not have any more penalties. It'll just be more risk to roll.
Okay, we'll do that.
So that'll be a 10-yard race. So we'll say, like half of that for each of the patches, maybe a little more on yours. The specifics don't matter too much. So 6 dice of risk, -12 penalty. The size is fine. All right, so now we can get to casting. Now, we did say you were upgrading your learned ritual, so that'll be manipulation plus occult plus Kruak as your base pool. So what does that give you to start with?
It goes fine with that. How rude. Alright, so manipulation plus occult plus correct. 11.
Okay. Which means you are at -1 dice before bonuses, which, is fine. I'm assuming you're going to just take the full amount of extra time taken to get a +5 there.
Right.
So that'll be 4 dice. You guys did buy Nexus, so you get 1 there. So now you're at 5. You could pay extra. Well, you probably don't want to pay extra vitae because you're already eating into.
Like, how much am I paying already?
Yeah. I mean, you're already paying 3 vitae for the ritual.
Yeah.
And I know you weren't tipped very high to begin with since you're using so much towards healing.
Yeah.
So you'd be at 5 dice currently with everything as it is.
Okay.
And of course you can spend willpower because it's Kruak.
Yep, we will spend a willpower.
So that'll be 8 dice.
Alright.
And then we'll roll your risk afterward.
Alright. So it's just 8 dice total?
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna do a simple roll. Because it's easier than trying to click on everything and then do all the math.
Right.
Alright, dice pool is 8.
4 successes. Cool. Yeah, you don't have anything to upgrade that. That's a shame. Alright. So yeah, you are able to cast it correctly. You do your little ritual, cutting your arms, letting the blood flow into the ground around where the plants are gonna be, at least the local ones. And then, basically the fairly normal-ish, if somewhat thorny and mean-looking plants more or less kind of tear away, and these unnatural reddish, almost bleeding out of the thorn ones come up, and they're able to, turn and, almost look at you, and you can feel you can feel the, like, not quite intelligence, but at least an animalistic level of awareness about them.
Oh, such pretty plants.
Yeah. So yeah, now we need to do your risk. I believe we came out to 6 dice of risk.
Correct.
So you do not have any extra level of your primary theme than you need. It is a learned ritual, so that takes it down to 3 dice. So you're definitely rolling. And then for other modifiers, you do have an altar. And
Correct.
you do have a haven, right?
Yes, I have safe place. Yeah. I'm happy with
So we're actually rolling a chance die for you.
Yay.
So let us see what happens. 2. That is a failure. So your risk does not backlash on you.
Yay.
So yeah, go ahead and record that you have 3-dot retainer plant groups at your place in Kalen's. That will last for 1 month. Which we'll put it at, you probably cast it on like Saturday. So that'll be October 8th that they need to be renewed.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And then
And
the
you
other...
you wanted to do the anti-auspex one?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Do you have that one learned?
I do.
Cool. What did we decide on for how exactly
It's-
that works?
It's a protection too.
Am I on the... Here we are. Word versus... Yep, okay. Clash of Wills versus Auspex and similar stuff. Right. Alright, so how does that ritual work? Like, what do you have to do to enact it? Gotta decide on if there's any appropriate motifs.
Probably it's like take a needle and thread and coat the thread with my own blood and then sew my lips shut
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit. I'm sure that would make Jeremy and Charlie happy. I'm not gonna be getting you into trouble for the length of the ritual anyway. So do that. And like I said, basically sew my own blood.
Alright. We can probably add, like, a... you have Creation 2, right?
Correct.
We could probably do an add-on where if you spend 2 risk and you have Creation 2, you can give false answers to stuff like Auspex.
Okay, that would be cool.
Like, you know, basically create a different aura that gives whatever sorts of answers you want in its stead.
That would be cool.
So yeah, you can note that down. I don't know if you want to use that right now as we go through it again.
Use that.
Okie dokie.
Can use creation 2 to allow to false answers.
Alright. So again, learned ritual, manipulation plus occult plus Kurak is your base.
Mm-hmm.
The potency will be the number of times that it can clash against something like that before you need to recharge.
Yeah.
So, how much potency do you want?
Let me find my book again.
Hmm?
I said, let me find the book again. It's hiding on my screen with everything else.
I mean, it's 1 step per potency above 1, and 1 time per potency, so...
Yeah. We'll take potency 2.
Okie dokie. So that'll be 1 step towards that. You do have... what's your protection?
My protection's a 2.
Protection's a
No,
2,
3.
so...
No,
What?
protection's a 3, sorry.
Protection's
It's a 3.
also... Okay. So you have 2 free steps. So yeah, you put 1 of your free steps there, so you're fine so far. Do you want to make that advanced potency? Because that gives you a bonus on the clash.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
Alright, so we have 2 risk and 1 of your free steps used. How long do you want it to last duration-wise?
A month.
A month. Okay, so that's 3 steps, so that means 2 steps that aren't free. So you're at a -4 penalty with 4 dice of risk so far. Range is yourself. Nothing needs to change there. Scale is yourself, unless you want to add it to the other two.
I think I think actually adding it to the other two would be a good idea if they'll let me sew their lips shut too. For the length of the ritual.
I wouldn't be against it.
Alright, so that'll be either... you can either make that advanced scale to cover them all, or you can take 2 more steps of penalties.
I'll make it advanced.
Okay, so that puts you at 6 dice of risk -4 penalty. And then the size... None of you have giant, do you?
I do.
Oh, you
yeah,
do.
I think Charlie does.
Okay, so you need a -2, or, another step for him being big. So that'll put you...
But I can try and help with this ritual also.
That's true. Okay, so we're at a -6 penalty and 6 risk, I think we came out to.
Yeah.
Because we had 2 for the
2
ritual,
there,
2 for
2
potency,
there.
2 for duration. Wait, but no, you went... So it's actually 8 dice of risk total, because you're doing the fake
Oh, right.
thing. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got 8 dice of risk and a -4 penalty. Or -6 penalty, because you didn't... Sorry.
I was trying to figure out why I only had -4. It's like, okay, where did I miscalculate? It's
Yep,
entirely
my
possible.
bad.
Okay.
Okay. So, he's going to assist you, so he just rolls his base pool with no bonuses or penalties for an improvised.
Which is what again?
Manipulation plus your protection dots, if any.
Okay.
Oh, Jeremy's also letting you. Thought she'd said yes, I must have.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway. So yeah, go ahead and roll to help, and then we'll figure out her own modifiers. So we're at -6 so far. 8
8 again.
Right. Ooh, +4. Alrighty. So that means you are at -2 so far. I imagine you want to take the full extra time again.
Yes.
This can probably be done on the next day, since you had, 3 days of downtime?
Yeah.
So, +5 +4. We'll put you at +3 dice so far. So yeah, manipulation plus occult plus Kruak +3 is what you're looking at right now.
Okay.
And
then
a butt ton of
Jeremy
risk.
gets
Did Jeremy what?
I says, does Jeremy get to roll too?
No, Jeremy doesn't
Okay.
have any Kruak.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Alright, so we're at manipulation plus occult plus correct. And we're at sheet roll, that's simple roll. Keep it all checked. Yep. And then +3.
Well, everyone's enjoying all of this downtime magic. If you didn't see, I got the Streamlabs bot working finally, so if you're ever confused about stuff, there's a few commands. There's one for seeing the custom bloodlines and stuff we use. There's one for getting a link to Rites of Damnation. And I think I can eventually teach the bot to randomly tell you what the commands are. I'll deal with that later. But, yeah. Alright. Ooh, you got an exceptional success. Cool. Alright, so the options are improve a ritual factor, treat a basic one as advanced, gain a condition, or regain part of the sacrifice. Or -1 from the risk pool.
What's our risk pool currently?
8.
Let's go ahead and take one out of the risk pool.
Alright. So yeah, you got exceptional success, so this is successful, and now we've got a risk pool of 7. Now, this was a 2-dot ritual that you had 3 for, and it was learned, so that takes away 5 dice. And so I think we're again at a chance die because of the altar. So let us roll your chance die of risk. And it again fails. Lucky you. Managing all of these risky rituals without any backlash.
Hey, I'm kind of glad for that.
It'll happen eventually, don't worry.
This is me. Of course it will.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So yeah, mark that ritual down. And again, with the duration of a month. Starting from the 9th this time.
Alright, here we go. That's just a permanent ritual, but we'll put it down here. I put the other one up in retainers, since the plants are retainers.
Yeah, whatever. As long as you keep track of them all. Yeah. Alrighty. So, yeah, downtime is pretty uneventful. You're able to cast all your magic, get your creepy, more powerful plants up, get yourselves shrouded from auspex and stuff like that. Excuse me. So on Sunday, you wake up, you go down, get your usual drink from the river, you head back to your coterie house, and shortly after you do that, not much time has gone by. You pretty much just get back through the door when all of a sudden you see writing, plastering across every single wall, as if through written in blood, basically. And it says, the living witch collects the shadows of Dis. D-I-S.
That sounds like a bad omen.
Yeah, and shortly after, you're able to read all of that, there's a little, basically, a symbol that is more or less the signature of the circle's Heirophant. Kyra, however I pronounce that. It's my NPC, I should probably figure that out.
No, I should probably go talk to the Heirophant. Do we know what the shadows of Dis are, or do we need to roll for that?
I assume one of you has an occult of 2 or higher, right?
I'm
We all do.
Right, yeah. The owls of Dis are the Strix.
Yeah.
So.
Out of character, I recognized it immediate.
Right. So you can imagine it's them or something very closely related to them.
Witch, not witch. Well, the only living witch we know is Travis. Does he count as a witch?
Remember the
What
setting.
are you mumbling?
Huh? What, Falco?
I said, remember the setting you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, look at Charlie.
I couldn't understand what you said.
My character was just muttering to herself.
Okay.
not good, how, Travis is probably somehow connected to this. Probably not.
Hold on, you are very quiet today.
Is that any
just
No, it's not.
no.
Let me actually turn myself up then.
Yeah, I already cranked you up a good amount.
Yeah, same here.
Barely understand you.
I think she was
sitting in the same room with her, and I can barely understand her.
Is that any better?
I mean, not really.
How about now?
Maybe a little bit.
Now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now I need to turn you guys down because you're super loud.
Alrighty. So you're mumbling something about Travis?
Yes.
Okay.
And basically just muttering to myself. And then I look at Charlie. I'm like, should we go see the Heirophant?
I still didn't understand what you said to Charlie.
Should we go see the Heirophant?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Alright. So, Jeremy is a member of the Circle of the Crown, even though he doesn't have...
Mhm.
Correct. So,
Yes.
we can take him along too. If he wants to go.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Alrighty. The circle has a little quote-unquote temple. Hold on, I'm gonna... Boop. And then... I forget, is it... No, it's... I always forget. Okay, shift click. I knew that. Alright. But yeah, the Circle's Temple is a little ways out of the town, along a couple dirt roads. It's in a little cavern, in a little not quite foresty area, but close. Decent smattering of trees. And there's a little cavern that comes into the side of a hill. And the Circle has a little temple in there where they tend to meet.
Alright, so we can take Jeremy's truck instead of risking Charlie's car.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, the truck's able to get through the dirt roads without any trouble.
I thought I said I had an SUV.
Whatever you
Whatever
have.
vehicle you had.
Something that's better for
She
dirt
just
roads
made
than a
an
car.
assumption off of an old hillbilly having a truck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
So we take his SUV.
Yep, okay. You're able to arrive there with no trouble. As you approach the entrance, there do seem to be one or two people inside.
Go ahead and walk inside.
Yeah.
Alright, it's notably not the Hierophant, though. It's just a couple of the lower-ranking members of the course that are talking amongst themselves. They do look to you as you come in, and they ask if you saw the message, too.
Like, we did. That's why we're here. We're actually looking for the Heirophant.
They tell you that she's not here right now. No one actually knows where she went. The message was sent early in the night, and nobody knows where she is.
That's a problem.
Hmm.
They don't disagree. Alright, updated the current events for folks. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do. There's not much else they can tell you about it. They know what you do.
Yeah. Get in trouble?
Is what?
I said I get into trouble? What I do?
Surprise, surprise.
Well, you have to choose how you get in trouble.
Well, I know. I'm just saying
Roll manipulation plus trouble.
if that was a skill, I would totally take it. I mean, I guess I could use larceny in place of trouble, but
In some cases, yeah.
Okay, good. From here, we'll just go to Elysium. I still owe the friends a boon after all.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody there has seen her.
Alrighty. The other two of you going with her?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
How am I supposed to stay out of trouble otherwise?
Alright, yeah. You have a fairly uneventful trip back to Elysium. There's a dirt road that probably goes somewhat along the way without having to go back onto the main road, but it doesn't really matter. You get there quickly enough. Elysium, by contrast, there's not really anyone there past the ghouls right now that are always there to help keep an eye on it.
Wow, so everybody is missing.
Or they're just not in Elysium.
It is still early in the night.
That is true.
Does Miranda not have object permanence yet? She assumes everything's disappeared if it's not right in front of her.
I would kick you if I could reach.
I know. And that's why I'm glad you can't. So what do you want to do? You can wait there. There's the ghouls there.
I will go ahead and tell the ghouls. Bleh. Let's see if I can talk. They usually deal with the prince, or guard the back area. That if and when the prince shows up, go ahead and just tell him to reach me by cell phone if he needs me to do anything.
Okay, they nod and say they'll pass the message along. I'll start some light music in the background. I always leave it too quiet. I need to get out of that habit.
Usually you leave it too quiet and I turn it down so I can't hear it at all.
What?
I can still barely hear you.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. I actually think that this headset is dying, unfortunately.
Maybe.
Because
That would make sense.
I constantly hear a crackle in the background. So.
Is slowly committing suicide.
Ever so slowly.
Just finally give up and just commit to Fuku one day, and I'll be, SOL. Because normally, I don't know. It didn't seem like you guys used to have trouble hearing me. You used to have trouble hearing Donna, but Donna just speaks quietly.
Right. Anyway, we needn't worry about that too much right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll look at Charlie and Jeremy. I'm going, well, this isn't a problem we're going to solve tonight, that's for sure. Did we want to go see Travis, or Kaylin, or... I need to go to work at some point.
I, at this stage, don't think letting Travis or Kaylin know that there are potentially important people missing would be a good step.
Well, I wasn't planning on that. I just wanted to see how Travis's not wolf thing is doing. And I wanted to see how Kaylin liked his new plants. And I should also probably find Leah and let her know that I'm alive.
Well, she probably doesn't even know that anything went wrong.
Yeah, probably not. Which is good. She doesn't need to worry.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I imagine she would have, texted you at some point over your downtime.
Yeah, so I texted back, pretended that nothing was wrong.
Right.
Asked her if she found out anything interesting about the ooze.
She would have mentioned that they're still looking into it.
Okay.
Remember, you do still have some of that ooze yourself.
I do. I should go back to the Haven. Does the Elysium have a room where you poke at it without offending anyone?
I mean, remember that Elysium does have the rule against pagan witchcraft.
Oh,
So
right.
if you're planning to use any divination to figure anything out, it wouldn't be a good idea.
Okay. I don't have divination anyway. I'd have to make cute eyes at Jeremy for that.
I'll be right back.
That's amusing timing there. I can't see Jeremy's cards for some reason.
Ouch.
They aren't really there. It's all in your mind.
Wonder if I
Yeah,
can
I
see
can't
them from the stream window.
I can't click on them either.
Jeremy's cards specifically are not allowed to be seen.
I can see them.
I can't.
No one else can.
Alert and something else. I don't want to click on it because that steals.
Very strange.
I'm special.
Apparently. Alright, let's go back to my notes. Alright, I suppose I will get a refill while waiting on Diamond to come back.
I need to go find Leah because two of my conditions resolve by having a meaningful connection to a touchstone.
Actually, I think I've resolved mine. I forgot to pull it out. Or never mind, I did pull it
No,
out.
we got rid of your Jaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I still have Jaded and Gifted, both of which resolve by having a meaningful connection to a touchstone. My Addicted, I can't do anything about at the moment.
Oh, actually, Ecstatic would already have been resolved too. Because it's resolved by feeding or sleeping.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, let's get rid of that then.
Mark
Die
that down.
ecstatic. Yep. Alrighty. Got that taken care of. Alright, so you're going back to the coterie house to look at the goop?
Yeah, I think for now.
Or to make Jeremy do it when Donna gets back?
I'll make Jeremy do it when Donna gets back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Now, what are we making me do?
You have to study
Miranda.
Miranda's goop.
Yeah, Miranda would explain that while she was in the hedge with Leah, they encountered a hedge ghost that was acting kind of funny. But they were trying to figure out why it was acting funny, and in the process, they found this goop. She carried a little vial of goop, and she's trying to help Leah figure it out, and she'd appreciate it if you would look at the goop, if you had you the vial, and see if there's anything you can tell her about it.
Okay. I guess I take the goop and stare at it. Now, do I want to stare at it with divination, or do I want to stare at it with auspex?
Well, you'd need Auspex 3 to stare at goop. So.
Well, then I guess it's divination then.
Alright, so what sort of divination are you going to attempt on it?
Give me a second. I have to read what sort of divinations I can do.
Do. How much divination do you have?
I only have 2. I can't look like into its past or anything. I
Right.
can only look
Well,
into
with-
the present still. So I'm
Right.
not quite sure what I can do.
Well, remember, Divination 1 can let you look up specific bits of information about something to... You just have to know what you're looking for, basically. You can't ask general questions. You have to look for certain types of traits or details or stuff like that. Like how you could have a ritual that looks at something's mask and dirge, or you could have a ritual that looks up someone's aspirations. So with objects, you might be able to look for, you might be able to create something that tries to get an idea of what exactly it is, or what it can
What is the
fuel.
goop made out of? I don't know if that would be a viable one or not. What is the goop made out of?
I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
What you
Did
could
you
all
say you found it from something? My connection is crap and people keep cutting out.
Maybe it's not just me then.
she
I
found
found
it in
it
a
in-
haunted location in the hedge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try to see if I can discern what the goop is.
Alrighty. So how are you going to flavor that with your Sedana?
It's not a page. definitely not going to touch the goop. But I will meditate on the goop, and I'm not sure how to include karmic anything.
I mean, it just has to be a process that makes sense for all that. You don't have to blatantly include every little bit of it.
Okay.
Make hand gestures over the goop.
Yeah, I guess I'll make some of those hand gestures, mudras or yantras, whichever one it is. I'm not enough into yoga to do this. But anyway, yeah, that and meditation.
Alright, so basically like a ritual trying to figure out basically its place in things, how it works, that kind of deal, where it came from.
Yeah.
Alright, we can work with that. Alright, this is going to be an improvised ritual. So where's my reference chart? So that'll be Resolve plus Divination for you as your base pool. And then basically if you're not touching it, you'll need a step for range. But you do have a free step. And I think that's all you need unless you want to do higher potency to learn more about it.
I'll just work with what I got from. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll go for a higher potency. I might be able to afford that.
Alright, how much of a higher potency?
Just one higher.
Okay, so potency 2, so it'll be Resolve plus Theme minus 2, and then you can get extra bonuses if you take more time. You get 1 from your Nexus automatically.
Okay, yeah, I'll take more time to do it. She can wait.
Alright. So it's an hour by default, so how many extra hours?
Just an extra hour.
Okay, so that'll be plus 2, so that'll basically cancel out your penalty in total.
Alrighty.
Spend the entire 2 hours standing there calmly staring at her.
Ever so calmly.
Okay.
2 successes, and you didn't have any risk in that ritual. Alright, so studying the goop, you're able to basically sense 2 points of origin for it. You sense that there's a part of its energy comes from, like, emotion and, mental states and just the amount of energy and drive behind that to begin with, and the other portion of it seems to be like a sort of deadly energy, just something coming from the afterlife, more or less, something that should be gone but lingers behind. You could make like an intelligence plus occult, probably minus 3 roll to try and put together some of that to get a better idea of exactly what it is.
Intelligence plus what?
Plus occult minus 3.
And the last part was?
Intelligence plus occult minus 3.
Okay, so that's it. Just intelligence plus occult.
Minus
3.
Minus 3? Well, I couldn't hear that.
I said it like 5 times. How bad is your connection?
is
It is
actually pretty
really
bad.
bad.
You guys need better internet.
Y'all are coming through fine, other than Tassie being quiet. Usually when y'all have bad connection.
Right. Anyone
We have a
watching?
hard time.
I'm not like cutting out or anything, am I?
No,
No.
not for me.
Okay. All right. So 3 successes. I have no idea what your conditions are to know if you can upgrade that or not, since it won't let me open them.
Yeah. You actually should be able to think. Right? No.
What does Jeremy have?
For what?
Conditions.
Conditions. I think the other one might be inspired.
He's got tempted and alert.
Oh, never mind.
Gotcha. So that won't help you. All right. So with 3 successes, let's see. You don't have a lot of changeling experience like Miranda, but you do know that, you've heard the basics that Fae feed on emotions, so part of that energy is likely similar to what they subsist on, and the other part sounds like the kind of stuff that ghosts might rely on. So it's like some odd fusion of ghostly energy and Fae energy.
Okay, I will pick myself up off the floor and hand her goop back and say it's very ghost goop.
You gotta sigh. Well, considering that we got it from a place that was haunted, I'm not surprised if it's ghost goop.
But it's both.
So it's changeling and ghost goop?
Yes.
I'm gonna text Leah and ask her if changelings can turn into hedge ghosts.
She, it takes a few minutes, but she sends back, kind of.
Tell her that Jeremy looked at the goop for me, and he says that it's a combination of changeling and ghost emotion.
All right. She sends back that even hedge ghosts typically just rely on glamour. So that's kind of odd.
That's why I asked if changelings could be a hedge ghost.
She just kind of, does one of the, little arrow things pointing up to the previous response she gave about that.
Yeah. We'll keep looking.
I'll be right back.
Okay, fine. Be right back. See if I care.
Well, it's like really cutting up for me.
That's no good.
I'm sorry. Do you want to try restarting Discord or restarting your computer?
Yeah, we can give you a few minutes if we need to.
Well, yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt to give it a shot.
Alright, so we'll let you do that, since we're waiting on Jared anyway. It all works out. We'll just take a little bitty break.
Well, while they're both gone, can I look at the goop with creation? Try to figure out what created it?
That's not how creation works. Creation creates. Divination would figure out how it's created.
No, I don't want to turn it into anything else, so I'll leave it alone with transportation.
Yeah, I mean, the themes are pretty straightforward. They do what they say they do. They don't do things mildly related to the word.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I guess you're allergic to questions. So, it might hurt.
Well, you just cut out a moment there.
Yeah, like I said, our internet is being terrible.
Right.
My voice connection just went back to green. It was red. So.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Yeah, I had dropped frames an hour ago, but not since then. So I'm fine.
I like how quickly you can just get that, and, you know.
How quickly I can what?
Look at when you had dropped frames and things.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the Streamlabs stuff. It has it built in, so you can tell if you're sending a sucky stream or not. I mean, sucky connection-wise. I know that the stream sucks anyway, but...
It does. I'm just trying to get him to watch the
what?
The sessions that you have up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The game. I don't know if we ever did or not.
Yeah.
And my connection is back to red again.
Well, stop that.
I would if I could.
Where's your... I should create another little text block for...
Now it's not. Now it's not like showing down his voice at all. It's not letting her talk.
Let's see. Is she still reconnecting, maybe?
No, she's still there, but she's trying to get it to recognize her mic, and it won't.
That's weird.
Apparently, it'll pick up me though. From off my You want me to look at it real quick, Donna?
Let's rename that.
Yeah. Alright, I will be right back.
Boop. There we go. Now I got a nice little box so people know we're waiting on technical difficulties. Because I'm oh so professional, as everyone knows.
Hello.
Hi.
You hear me through the thing?
Yeah,
Or do you hear me because I'm sitting here?
I'm hearing you through Donna.
Falco, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can't hear Falco.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Did you two switch computers?
Yes. She's looking at my problem to see if she can fix it.
Gotcha.
Responding just for its directions did nothing.
Gotcha. I need to create some like cool little technical difficulties like full screen thing.
But now.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Hello?
How about now?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay.
So are we all set
Alright,
then?
Donna. Yep, just let me Donna and I change back.
Okie dokie. sworn my thing used to have less snow at the top.
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear me
I'm
now?
back where I belong.
Am I
Yes.
cutting out at all? Can you hear all of my inane rambling? That doesn't matter.
No, you're actually.
I'm what?
Are you messing with me?
No, I think you cut out a little bit there.
Okay. You were cutting out a lot.
Well, it's not my fault. I'd say you could mute Discord and just listen to the stream, but then you'd be at a several second delay, and that would be annoying. I think I hear them talking in the background.
Okay. Being an issue. It's being a pain in the ass is what it's being.
How fast is your guys' internet speed, like, theoretically speaking?
It's supposed to be really fast, but I don't know the exact number Tim does because someone pays for it. But
Gotcha. Well, you should sue them. Alright. Well, Jared doesn't seem to be back yet anyway.
right now it's saying our download is 36.2 and our upload is like 9.
That's not too bad.
Our latency is 14 ms. Is what it's saying.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a big deal.
So I don't know.
Yeah, my internet's never as fast as they say it's supposed to be. Like, I'm supposed to have like 100 megabits, and I'm lucky when I have 50, but that's still usually plenty. But
Yeah. That's what ours is supposed to be. I think it's 100.
Alrighty. Well, are you hearing me any more reliably?
So?
Okay. I suppose we can just wait for Jared to get back and then try and continue.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
That was good
Welcome
timing.
Yep.
Alrighty. So where were we? Alright, you just finished with the goop. Let me get rid of the BRB sign. Alright. So yeah, you studied the goop. You texted with Leah.
Right.
So what do you want to do now?
I want my internet to stop being in yellow and red. I don't know. What do you two think? Should we go back to Elysium and see if there are more people there, or
Yeah, makes sense. That's like logical step.
Yeah.
Either there or the Ruach Temple.
yeah? So if we're
Or
gonna,
Circle Temple, I mean.
yeah. Same thing.
No, it's not. I have different magic than Krok, so there.
This is true. Technically, I do too, but I have both.
Well, no, you have corrects. You're only blood sorcery, Tassie.
Oh, that's right.
You have another discipline. That's
Right.
not exactly a discipline, but it's kind of a discipline. But it's not blood sorcery.
Okay. Can you ever have two hands blood sorcery?
Yeah, you can. Most common would be having both bloodline and covenant, but there's other ways to get blood sorcery too.
What I need to do is make a really good friends with an order direct wolf. That's what I need.
They don't really have much in the way of blood sorcery.
Oh, what's their disciplines then that are like?
They get
Zutra and
they get the coils of the dragon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I need to learn. I really make really good friends with direct wolves, so they'll teach me their discipline.
Is it possible to learn a coil if you're not a...
I mean, it's theoretically possible if one of them teaches you, but then you have a target painted on your back if anyone finds out.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And probably the one who taught you does too.
Yep. Oh, they have a bigger one.
You may not have known any better. They definitely did.
Right.
You did what? Anyway, yeah. So yes, going to Elysium.
Okie dokie. Alright, so you drive to Elysium. There are a couple more people there now. The ghouls are there. The bishop does seem to be among them. The prince is not there, though. At least nowhere visible. And you don't see his usual ghouls sitting around.
And move. Don't see the Heirophant anywhere.
Nope.
Are there any other Circle of the Crow members around?
You see one of the same chorus members you saw earlier, but that's it.
Okay. Well, I will approach them.
Okay.
And ask them if there's been any sighting or any.
They say that, as far as they're aware, she hasn't shown up yet.
Okay. Falco, is it odd for the Hierophant not to be at Elysium, or does she just only stop by a king?
You hardly ever see her at Elysium anyway, but she'd usually be around the temple at least a few times a night.
Okay.
So it's weird if no one in the circle seems to have seen her around.
You can only look into the present, correct, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Could you perhaps divine her current location?
I'm not sure. Put my PDFs together there.
The answer is yes, you probably could.
The answer is
You said yes. The answer, yes, you probably could.
I guess I need to do that divination thing again, but not here because it's forbidden.
I don't know. Does
What?
magic have?
It's not Theban, so I'm sure it counts as
Is pagan?
pagan.
Oh yeah, Sedana's definitely pagan by their definition.
Okay. Alright. We'll leave again. We're in like chickens with their heads chopped off.
Alright. It's getting pretty late into the evening by this point, since you've been casting long rituals and stuff like that.
Alright, in that case, actually, I will go to work.
Okie dokie. You can do that. And you can roll to hunt if you want.
Yep.
So... And Jeremy's going to attempt a ritual at the coterie house.
He asked if Jeremy was going to attempt a ritual.
You broke up, Tassie. Either that or you just stopped talking.
I said that Falco was asking if Jeremy was going to conduct a ritual at the coterie house.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty sad when we're breaking up enough so we can't understand each other in the same room.
Right. Right.
Well, how are you supposed to pronounce Kurak? Kuruk?
I usually pronounce it Kruak, but I have no idea if that's right. Kruak.
We just saw what Donna said about me pronouncing it like crack. Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely not crack, but it's Kruak. I think. If anyone else that's watching knows, feel free to correct us. I won't actually change how I say it, but I'll know that I'm wrong in that case.
Alright, so I was rolling to...
So yeah, you make your hunting roll, and then Jeremy is going to be attempting to divine the location of the Heirophant. Which means... Whoops.
Oh, no, correct. Not supposed to be in that.
Yeah, so take away the last 3, and you got 2 successes still. So yeah, that's 1 vessel.
I will take 3 from them.
Sounds good.
And that brings me to full.
Hooray.
Did you finish healing over the downtime?
I did.
Yeah, we covered that. Alright, so... Well, Jeremiah, what sort of divining are you going to do? How's this going to work under the way that Sedana works?
This time I'd like to try locating her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll use a bowl of water to look into for purity.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And what's your sacrament? I forgot to ask you that last time, but...
Sacrament.
Something like this, you could probably use, like, some vitae as the sacrament.
Okay. I'll do that then.
Alrighty. So we're...
Do I need to hunt soon?
Probably. So we're improvising a ritual again. Potency you probably don't need to worry about. Duration you don't need to worry about. The range you're going to probably want to be advanced. You probably need about 3 steps of sympathetic connection. Would cover the Hierophant, I think.
Okay.
So that's 2 dice of risk and 3 steps, and you have 1 step for free, so you're at a -4 penalty. And the scale and size don't need to pay. So, yeah. You have 2 dice of risk and a -4 penalty. You can... you cover one of the penalty with your nexus like you usually do, which brings it to -3.
Well, since I'm already at the coterie house and don't have to worry too much about time, I can take some extra time to do this.
Okay, how much extra time?
We have.
Sorry, what?
How much time do we have before dawn?
Few hours.
I'll take a couple hours extra.
Okay, so that'll be +2, so you're at a -1 then.
Okay. No, what is going on here? That is not what I need to roll. Okay, that's better. Don't get my occult to this.
That is not right at all. Or is yours off of intelligence?
No, you're off of resolve.
Resolve? Oh, it's the same number.
Okay.
Okay.
So resolve +2 -1. So yeah, that works out. So 1 success. And then for your risk, we had 2 dice of risk. I don't think you get any for free. What's your guys' Haven rating?
1.
No. Total.
Oh.
Looks like 3 because you each
3.
got... Yep. Okay, so that means you had 2 dice of risk. None of it's free, but you do reduce it by 2, so we'll just roll the chance die. So many chance dice of risk. Roll 1d10, and it fails. So no backlash for you. Okay.
Yay.
Alright, you have, your little pool of water, and you drip the vitae very carefully into it. And it starts to... Actually, roll a Clash of Wills. Would probably be the best way to do this.
What's a Clash of Wills again? Resolve plus composure or something else?
No, it's blood potency plus your blood sorcery.
Oh.
Let's see, and so wait, where's my sheet?
And then behind the other one.
Bad.
Well, let's see. They would have bonus for it. Okay. Alright, yeah, so you drip the blood into the pool and it starts to like form an image, but then it basically starts, like the blood dribbles down like little drops of rain or oil or something, and they like all stop, like they splatter as if on some invisible surface.
Okay, I will find Charlie. Unless he was sitting there watching me like what's her name did.
Miranda.
I would be in the room, but I wouldn't have been watching.
Okay, I'm gonna say I think there's something blocking. I can't get a lock on where she's at. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean she's in trouble because she could have some kind of anti-scrying ward herself.
Yeah. But that, combined with the message, seemed more like outside interference would be more likely. At least in my opinion. maybe we try again first thing tomorrow night and see where we go from there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, so you're just going to call it a night, basically?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost dawn, so...
Alright, yep, probably a good idea then. Let's put the counter forward today. So yeah, you all go to sleep and have time the next evening to do your usual drink from the river.
Yay!
You know, I should add a command to the bot to allow it to post, you know, the basic oddities of the town. For anyone who hasn't seen it before. Ah, crap. It did not keep the formatting. Oh well. Next time I'll have a command like exclamation point town or something that will give the basic oddities of the town. But yeah, the basic idea is that the town is very conducive to sorcery and magic, and the river that runs through the side of it can allow Kindred to drink from it once per night to basically get back the blood they lost from sleeping. So yeah, you've done that, and you now have a full evening to do whatever.
Alright, so I think the first thing we'd like to do is to have Jeremy look for the Heirophant once again.
Well, maybe let's go to the Circle Temple and then just try it from there.
Yeah.
And that way we can also see if there's any information.
That works.
Alrighty. So yeah, you head to the temple. Once again, the Heirophant is not there. A couple of random choristers are there. No one particularly important, you know, asking around. Still, nobody's seen her since a couple nights ago.
Do they seem worried at all, or are they just kind of...
It's not the first time that she's been gone for a few nights at a time, but, you know, given the message, they're not sure what to make of it.
Okay.
I'm assuming, given the uniqueness of Jeremy's blood sorcery, there isn't anyone else in town.
I mean, there's no one in town that can do exactly what he can do, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's just, I didn't think so, but just figured I'd check. Someone that he could potentially teamwork with.
Gotcha. Nope. Afraid not. Alright, so
Of
you're
course, it takes our altar for us to teamwork, so never mind. Forgot that.
Right.
It's not an easy thing.
Okay, so yeah, you basically want to try the same thing, but within the temple?
I just figured coming here so that we could do two birds with one stone.
Right. Donna?
In case there was information.
Donna's not... Donna and Tassie are both muted.
I said yeah like 3 times, so now I know how you feel.
Oh, you were muted.
Right. Okay. So, the temple is a fairly potent spiritual nexus, but it doesn't really have a resonance that would work with Sedana, I don't believe. Sedana's more about purity, and your guys' own can obviously would have hit a middle ground between the two, but the temple's more of a bloody resonance, which Sedana is not really, other than being blood sorcery, is not so much about the resonance of the blood itself. So, trying to see what else might apply there, though. The temple itself probably has a blessing to it, though. I should really figure that out.
And would it also potentially allow an easier connection to the Heirophant?
Yes, you wouldn't need 3 steps. 2 steps would probably cover it, given the temple itself. So I guess you'd basically be a zero-sum, just roll the same thing you rolled last time.
Actually, one better.
Well, she had both. She had the Nexus.
She had a -1 for...
Okay. So yeah, one better then. Resolve +2. I guess resolve plus divination, technically. 2 successes. Alright, make sure to mark off more vitae and willpower for the casting.
Yep.
Alright, roll the clash again. And do it with 8 again.
With 8 again?
Yes.
Yes.
Which I technically should have given you for the last one too, but that wouldn't have helped with a failure
It
anyway.
would not have affected it
Yeah.
at all.
Ooh, nice. Okie dokie. This time, as you put the, as you let the vitae slowly drip in a very exacting manner, it starts to unravel into like a map of the town, and then it kind of congeals around that spot that I just pinged a couple of times.
Right at the edge of mage territory.
Right at the edge of mage territory, indeed. Heirophant. Nope. Let's try that again. There you go. I can type.
That's not good.
I didn't look at how you had spelled it, but maybe it was...
I forgot an O the first time. So it was Airfant.
Maybe that was Jeremy's twang.
I don't think he has a twang at this point, not unless you piss him off. So he spent so much time in India. He speaks like a cultured individual, unless you get him pissed off, and then, he'll twang at you. Which sounds a lot worse than it actually is.
So do we want to go investigate ourselves, or see if anyone else wants to come, or are there actual back roads that make that accessible without going through mage territory?
Yeah, there's probably like a little dirt road that'll come out to like hereish.
Okay.
And then you'll have to walk the rest of the way or drive across.
We can mark that on a map, and before we go there, we can go talk to Travis and ask him about the mages that are in that area.
Alright. Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We will go to Travis first.
Okie dokie. So you head out of the temple and have the nice long drive to Travis's place. It looks normal enough as you arrive. Probably a little late into the evening. No, probably like just before midnight around now. By the time you get there. I'm mumbling a bit, sorry.
Okay.
I can't hear half of it anyway, so,
So are you guys just going and knocking, or?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go and knock.
Alright,
Expecting the door to open before I get there.
no, you knock on the door, and it actually takes him a minute to get there this time. He offers you a smile and says, I wasn't expecting all of you today. What can I do for you?
We actually have a question about some. Well, can we come in?
Of course, come on in. Motions all of you inside.
And
Okay,
take the map.
you win.
Once we're inside, take the map and show them the area. I'm like, we actually have a question about some there are mages that might be in this area. I guess I'm asking if there are mages in this area, and if so, what do you know about them?
He looks to it a moment and says, what do you want with that area?
Somebody we know might be in that area.
I see. Well, I believe in that area there's a small number of the nameless, and people at the outskirts of the concilium. But I don't know any specific details beyond that.
So, like yourself, or still with closer ties?
No, they're still attached to the concilium.
I'm going to poke Charlie to get him to lean down a little bit, and then whisper in his ear, like, do we want to tell him about the Heirophant?
I just kind of shrug.
Do we want to tell him about the message?
That I'd shake my head to.
Okay.
He gives a curious look to you at your whispering.
Yeah, he gets into less trouble than I do, so I tend to run my ideas past him and do them.
He gives a slow nod at that.
I'd roll my eyes.
What? It's true.
I do ask if you're planning to go into that area to be very careful. They obviously keep a very close watch on their territory and any undead individuals crossing into it.
Yeah.
Would it be safer or easier for you to cross into the area there?
He shakes his head at that.
Yeah, I figure that you said you were on the outskirts, so. Well, we kind of have to go looking, so I guess we'll be as careful as we can.
He nods at that and frowns a little and says, all right, well, do let me know if you make it back in one piece.
Definitely will.
He offers a bit of a smile at that. And says, well, was there anything else? I do have a bit of
No.
work to do.
No, thank you, Travis.
Of course. I'm sure I'll see you all again soon. I hope.
Hopefully. Waves. Go ahead. Head out.
Yep.
Well, that's not, once they're outside, like, that's not at all promising. Do we want to actually give this information to the bishop and Prince? Or the rest of the, circle, for that matter?
Well, I mean, probably don't want to go all on our own without telling anyone, but I don't know how much the prince or the bishop would care.
So we should at least let the rest of the circle know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to ask for backup.
Yeah.
Definitely not. So why don't we head to Elysium and see what circle's there, and then head to the temple and see what circle's there, and how many people we can possibly gather. Or we could do that in the opposite direction, whichever's easier.
Are either of you going to respond to her?
I couldn't hear what she said.
I heard it, but it's basically whichever one is fine with me.
What I said was, do we want to go to Elysium and see what circle is there, and then go to the temple and see what circle is there, or do we want to do that in the opposite direction?
Whichever way is more efficient.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the temple is a little bit closer to where we are now.
Alright, so let's do it that way.
Alright, so which way are you going?
Temple, then Elysium.
Okie dokie. Alright, so you head to the temple. There's a couple of different individuals there from last time. But again, just low-ranking sorts.
I would approach them.
Alright, they give you a curious look.
Say, hello.
Hello.
So we might have found a possible location of the Heirophant. Unfortunately, it is in Mage territory.
They kind of, frown at that, and one of them, says, I told you, kind of under their breath.
Told who?
They just kind of wave your question off. Like, where in Mage territory?
I show them the map.
Okay. Like, well, what are you planning to do about it?
We're planning on gathering whoever wants to go with us and going and seeing if we can find the Heirophant.
You're just going to try taking a large number of Kindred into Mage territory? You don't think they'll see that as, like, some sort of mini invasion?
more having people available, not necessarily everyone going in, but having people available in the mid area, in the outside of mage territory, in case something happens.
They kind of whisper among themselves a bit. They tell you that, there's no way they're going into mage territory, but if you need someone to keep an eye on things on the outside, they can maybe do that.
Thanks.
They nod at that and they give you a contact number.
I will put it in my phone. Do you think we should tell, again to Charlie and Jeremy, do you think we should tell, we can't tell our own leader that we're going to go try to rescue her.
Yeah, I guess
we
might as well try and tell the prince, but I really don't know how much he might care.
Who were the Hierophant's allies within the Elysium?
The Hierophant's allies?
Yeah.
Well, you do know that Kyra actually gets along fairly well with the bishop.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember reading that. So we should probably let the bishop know.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so you're heading to Elysium then?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Alright. So yeah, you head to Elysium. Once again, a slightly different allotment of people are there, but the bishop is still there. And there is one of the prince's ghouls, implying he might be somewhere in the back.
Okay. Approach the Hierophant, not the Hierophant. Approach the bishop first.
It's going to be dark and stormy out. So you said you're approaching the bishop first?
Correct.
Alright, he gives you his usual smile and curious sort of look. Like, what can I do for you?
Have you seen Kira lately?
He shakes his head at that. He says, no, I haven't actually.
Well, we think we might know where she is, but it's a small, probably more of a large problem.
What do you mean?
We think we found where she is, but it's in mage territory.
He kind of gives like a slight bit of a wince at that and says, well, I know she wouldn't be in mage territory without very good reason, but if she's there for longer than a brief period, that's likely a problem, yes. He kind of like looks to be considering what he wants to do about that. Well, we could. Go ahead.
We know from a contact of ours that the mages that are in that area are watching him to see if that means anything to him.
He nods at that. He says, yes, well, mage territory is still mage territory.
And he said that they do keep an extra close eye on their dead that happen to be coming through.
He nods at that and says, I don't suppose you know any little bits of witchcraft that can protect against, magical divination, do you?
I actually do.
He nods at that and says, Well, if you can manage a strong enough casting of that sort of thing, it might allow you to get in there without alerting half of their concilium to the fact. But it's still going to be risky. He thinks a moment and says, I could perhaps offer a slight blessing to make it that much more likely you would go unseen.
Any help that we can get would be useful.
He nods at that. He says, why don't you come back here with me?
I'll go ahead and follow him.
He motions for all of you to head into the back where there's a little, basically, area of worship for the lance.
Follow.
And, you know, he, let's see, where did I put the, did I give him that, or am I going to have to? Alright, I just heard a meow.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he's trying to get her attention.
She wanted to use me as a ladder.
Mm.
Okay, so he takes you into the room and he hands each of you, let me just roll and see what that much, I'll just estimate, that looks good, that'll work. Okay, so he hands each of you a little silver cross, and then he hands you basically this, let's see. What do you call it? Kind of. Oh, I'm completely blanking on. It's basically like just an old style cloth wrapping. And he tells you that as he says his prayer that you need to slowly wrap the silver cross with the material until it's entirely covered, and then and then put it in your pocket and keep it out of sight for the rest of the night.
Okay.
You're looking for the name of the old the old sort of fabric. Is it Muslim? Is that the name you're looking for?
No,
Muslim?
don't worry about it. So yeah, he has you do that, and you know, he says basically a fairly long-sounding prayer, and as he finishes it, he touches each of you on the shoulder, and you feel this sort of like basically a holy kind of energy filling you. And with you being Circle, it feels a little bit uncomfortable, honestly. But you also feel that it is strengthening you on a mystic level. Basically, any sort of clash of wills that you have for the rest of the night, you will have 8 again on.
Okay.
Even if you're not in a temple or the like.
I will thank him.
He gives you a nod and says, if you can find her without causing us any trouble, that would be good. In the meantime, I will get a hold of Mary and appraise her of the situation in case we need to have a talk with some of them.
We were going to inform the prince of this. Do you think it's something that you should handle, or should we let him know?
I'll let him know too.
Thank you.
He gives you a nod and motions for you to be on your way.
Go ahead and go.
Alright, out of here.
Yep.
Alrighty.
I'm not taking off your bell. You're stuck with it.
Alright. I need to be right back real quick.
Heck, my internet just went out for a second completely. Hey, Falco.
He went away, remember?
No, my internet died completely there for a second.
Okay, and
I was actually gonna, because it keeps doing that, ask him yes early, but if we want to call it here, since our internet is incredibly crappy.
Oh, little kitty. Little kitty.
Alright, if you want to call it early, since the internet's being so cruddy for you guys, we could do that, call it an early night. If I heard you correctly.
that is what she said.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that. Anyone that's watching, sorry for it being such a short episode because of technical difficulties. So yeah, let's go ahead and handle beats real quick.
Okay.
So let's see.
Are you having that issue, Donna? Is it going completely out for you?
Not that I've noticed, but it is going down to lowest reception or whatever you
Yeah.
call it.
So let's see. We got learn a new secret for Donna. I'd say the goop and learning about the Heirophant probably both count towards that, so we'll give you that. We haven't done any grooming. Tassie has not made a new enemy yet. You did learn a new ritual because of your learning your new better evil plant ritual. You have not earned a boon. Jared has not explored the hedge. You have not trained them any further. And you've made progress towards protecting a member. Since that's what you guys are trying to do, I'll give you that since it's
Yeah.
been such a
Okay.
uneventful session. Let's see, anything else? Someone got an exceptional success on magic, right?
I did.
That's a
Yeah.
blood beat for you.
Yep.
And no one else did, I don't think.
Nope.
I don't think anyone else did any of the other blood beat things. Let me give those a quick run through. Blood beat. Here we are.
Let
Dramatic-
them cease firing, right?
Yes. Dramatic.
One more and I'll be able to, well no, one more and I'll have an experience towards that.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
I may as well, as for your shared beats, you guys all get 3 beats.
Woohoo!
Which brings the total up to 21, which means you all should be at 4 XP and 1 beat.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so let's see. Did not embrace, did not gruel, did not create a revenant, did not exsanguinate, did not frenzy, did not spend your last vitae, did not join the bloodline. You did gain a theme dot, which I think is about equivalent to gaining a discipline dot. So you can have another blood beat, Tassie.
Woohoo! I have a whole experience.
As compared to my 2 beats.
Oh, you need to roll more vampire-y stuff.
Yeah. This is not a character that has very much active vampire-y.
Well, you could do stuff like riding the wave in combat.
Yeah.
which is actually pretty useful because then you make the goal something like kill whichever enemy, and you automatically snap out of it at the end, and that gives you your blood potency to all of your physical rolls and stuff. So
I am sorry,
pretty
Arrowhead
useful.
is being a pain in the ass.
I'm good.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm going to buy a third dot of Sadhana.
Alrighty. Alright, so I'm going to close out the stream. Again, sorry for the short one this time, guys. Same time next week.
Hopefully
The week after next week, I'm going to be at PAX, but I'll try to do some random streaming all through that weekend. I know I probably won't have too many people watching since it'll be at likely random times, but I'll still do it just so I have something on the channel at the time.
I'm going to see PAX.
Cool. So yeah. Thank you all. Bye.